Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Abdulaziz Al Nuaimi, Assistant Under Secretary of UAE's Ministry of Economy.
Good afternoon. I didn't expect that intro. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, he who has no past has no future. This is our late Sheikh Zayed, the founder of the country. He anchored every policy discussion in memory of where we began, and because only then we can steer wisely toward where we wish to go. So thank you, News9 Global Summit, for gathering us here in Dubai. Today we focus on a relationship that is both ancient and urgently modern. The bond between the UAE and India. I speak from direct experience. Under the leadership of the foreign trade sector, the ministry negotiated our first SEPA with India. That experience shapes the perspective that I bring today. That work gave us a front row seat to the power of this partnership and to the momentum that it can unleash. Because it is a history that is still breathes. Our history does not begin with SEPA. At one time, the Indian rupee circulated on our streets. It then evolved into the Gulf rupee, still pegged to its parent currency. Hospital ships from what was then Bombay, now Mumbai, anchored off Abu Dhabi to provide care when local medical services were scarce. Indian design touches graces Emir's Palace and Qasr al-Watan, reminders chiseled into stone that our cultures have long complemented each other. The link is commercial as well as cultural. Indian trading families, Lulu, RP, Barjeel, Shoba, among others, invested capital, built warehouses, opened clinics, and trained workforces. They helped transform a young federation into the diversified economy that you see today. We therefore view SEPA not as a break with the past, but as a renewal of it. A modern instrument that channels a historic current. And the result speaks itself. Non-oil trade between our nation surged 20% last year to 240 billion dirhams, around 67 billion US. The joint ambition is to lift that figure to $100 billion by 2030. And the trajectory says we will get there. We track the change in real time at the Ministry of Economy. Today, the UAE hosts 240,000 active Indian business licenses, a number growing roughly 20% every year. In the first quarter alone of this year, around 100,000 new applications crossed our digital counter. It is happening. It is real, and it is happening now. But what is the government role? What is our role here? It's to clear the runway. What's the task of the state in this story? Is to clear the obstacles. We widen runways. Our reforms already in the statute books, including the 100% ownership, the long-term golden visa residency for entrepreneurs and investors, the enhanced IP, protection, the cluster strategy, the group high-tech companies, space tech, healthcare, advanced manufacturing. These framework decisions matter just as much as any headline deal. Yet the headlines help illustrate the scale. Mubadala invested in Tata Power, Reliance Retail, and Geo Platform. ADIA, the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, backed IDFC First Bank and provided debt financing to GMR Group. Each transaction deepens the liquidity, transfers know-how, and one of the most important things is to boost confidence. Trust is that invisible infrastructure. Trade rides on infrastructure that you can touch, like ports, roads, fiber, but also an infrastructure that you cannot, which is trust. In 2022, the government of India designated the UAE as a reciprocating territory under Section 44A of its Civil Procedural Code. That single notification means a civil or a commercial judgment handed down in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, DIFC, or ADGM can be enforced by an Indian court. Entrepreneurs gain clarity, lenders gain security, and commerce simply gains pace. But it is a wider network here. Building on the success of CEPA with India, and as our guest a few minutes ago were talking about Kizad, the UAE has finished more than 20 additional CEPAs with other countries and regional blocs. Taken together, these arrangements give firms operating from the UAE preferential access to markets that hold 2.5 billion people. So for an Indian entrepreneur, a warehouse in Jebel Ali or Ras Al Khaimah is not only a gateway to the Gulf, but is a springboard to Africa, Europe, and the Americas. And there is a proof of diversification here. The macro numbers just confirms it. So the UAE GDP reached 1.7 trillion in 2024, up 4% year on year. The non-oil sector now contribute more than 75% of that total. A share that was once thought unreachable. Diversification is not a slogan, it's a statistical fact. But we need to keep perspective in a turbulent world. None of us is naive about the external environment around us. The global economy strains under conflict, supply chain shocks, and volatile finance. Yet, amid uncertainty, the UAE-India partnership operates by three principles. The first one is collaboration over conflict. The second is partnership over isolation. And the third one is resilience over reaction. These principles are not aspirational, they are historical. They kept trade flowing when currencies changed and when oil is first flowed. They will see us through the next cycles as well. So what is the call to action here today? What must we do here at the summit? Meet, compare notes, solve frictions, and sign deals. Government can write enabling law for you, but only the private actors can turn pivotal potential into production. So every business, the card that exchanged today, every MOU signed today, every pilot project launched today moves the headline number another notch higher. So the future depends on what we do in the present. This is Mahatma Gandhi. So as a fitting reply to Sheikh Zayed's wisdom, if our shared past guides us, then our present action here, now, determines the future that we will share. So in closing, the road between India and the United Arab Emirates is ancient, but its asphalt is newly built and laid smooth, broad, and built for high-speed commerce. Let us just drive it together. May the conversation that you started in these halls mature into ventures. May the friendship that you forge becomes a partnership, and may the prosperity that you create benefit both nations for generations to come. I wish you all success. Thank you so much.
His Excellency, I'll request you to please stay on with us, and I would also like to invite TV9 Network's MD and CEO, Mr. Barun Das, on stage to please felicitate our guest with the hamper. Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for a short break from a power-packed first half of the News9's Global Summit. I invite you all to join us for lunch. We will resume our session at 1:45 p.m. So I'll also request you all to make the most of this networking opportunity over a hearty meal, and please be sure to come back in time, as up next is a talk from the company man Vivek Oberoi.